ahead, Ivy.
Well, welcome back to the Steve Gruber Show. He is on his way to the Pentagon, probably trying to get into an Uber. Do we have a Steve there now?
Go ahead, Steve.
I am here. You're a little low for me, but you're there. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. So talk to me about this Pentagon visit. What is the purpose of today? I think you're going to be interviewing the Secretary of War and others.
Well, we're going to see a whole lot of folks today. It's the new media thing. And new media, we got press passes here. As you know, I got a permanent House press pass, hard pass, earlier this year. So I'm picking up the Pentagon press pass today, which is pretty exciting, really, with everything that's going on. And everything that's going on with Venezuela. Obviously, this is interesting. So I've never been to the Pentagon. It's going to be an interesting adventure for me, a new place to, to have access. And you know, Ivy, what we love about this job is the people we get to talk to. It's a very interesting world, dangerous world, important things to talk about. And it really is a unique opportunity. I mean, I don't know how many other folks from our neck of the woods are going to be there today, but I am.
Well, let's be honest, Steve. I think, even from anywhere in the world, to be able to say that we've been in the Oval Office, that you have a hard pass to the White House, that you have access to, the most influential leaders of the world, it is a pretty incredible thing to be able to say. And I feel pretty blessed for that opportunity that we have. You talk about crime, and I was just actually listening to Senator Klobuchar. She was asked on CNN about, is there a problem in Minnesota, is there a problem in Minnesota for gangs roaming around the streets? And I know that you talked a little bit about this morning, but these Somali gangs that are around, it does seem to be a big problem, doesn't it?
It sure does. Look, and when you've got the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, who they now know that billions of dollars were fleeced fraudulently from programs in Minnesota, and he's kind of, we're arresting people, and he says, well, you can't blame the Somalis. Well, it is the Somali community that has been several members arrested, several different people brought to court, in many cases, pending properties seized, grocery stores, other things seized, as they continue to root out this, like I said, billions of dollars of fraud. I mean, you can't just overlook it. Again, we're talking about all these people that came in from Afghanistan that led to this shooting here on the streets of D.C. Well, you can't just downplay the idea that this is somehow not a big deal. It's a very big deal. When you bring in people that are unvetted and you bring in people that are, unchecked, you don't know what their motives are. And the motives in the Washington, D.C. area, obviously violence. Then you look at the motives of people coming in here trying to take advantage of every government program they can get their hands on. I mean, come on, people, do your jobs. We have to be a lot more focused on what's happening, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, you can expect that when you import the third world, that it's going to all of a sudden be, that they're going to assimilate the folks from these regions, that they're going to assimilate into America and American culture, and not behave as in the way that they would behave at home. And I think that is a hard, tough discussion that we all have to have, and saying, hey, this is, I actually remember I was living in Florida at the time. I had a big yard sale, and there was quite a few Somali folks that had come in and literally wrapped up a bunch of stuff in it was like a bag that they brought, and I was like, excuse me, are you gonna pay for those items? And the woman actually threw it back at me and then walked off, and I'm like, what? Hello, this is like, common decency here, first of all. But it was just very, very bizarre. And that was one, example that I had there. And who knows? But again, you can't bring in the third world and think that we're going to have different outcomes. But I think that you probably agree with me on that.
You still have me?
I can still hear you, Steve. Can you hear me?
Yeah. The AirPods went out for just a second here. And
don't you
now
love
I'm
technology?
jumping in Uber, so.
Steve
No,
loves
not at the
technology,
moment.
by the way.
I can hardly hear you. The AirPods are not working right.
Oh, can you?
I'm trying to turn them off and go to speakerphone, and it keeps picking them up anyway. So I'm going to switch over, and we're going to make this work properly.
I swear, so Steve,
All right.
Steve is in D.C. Anytime he leaves me for any period of time, the electronics seem to have a mind of their own. They just go haywire. And it is very stressful for all of us involved. But it's like, what is it that you just create gremlins when you leave in all of your devices? Oh, my gosh.
That's what I do.
Too much. Did you
That's what
see
I
the
do.
story?
So anyhow.
It was, let's see here. U.S. It was a congressman. He was on an airplane, and he was looking at dirty photos on the plane. People actually captured video of him.
That guy.
Yeah, and I don't know, what the heck is his name, for goodness sakes?
He's 71 years old. I can see him. He's been in Congress for a long, long time, and he was sitting there on his iPad. First of all, what member of Congress has an iPad that doesn't have, a security screen on it? Honestly.
Well,
right? So all the passengers around him
we
were taking
don't.
pictures of him.
Brad Sherman?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that who that is?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
That's so funny because
not an attractive man.
I'm looking at the story here written about him, and I'm like into page 4, and it still does not mention his name. How weird, huh?
Do you think if he was a member
is.
of a different party, they'd have his name mentioned?
Probably, plastered all over the first 5 pages. But we always talk about
Exactly.
the left is the folks that are just the best people ever. So. But anyhow, yeah, so I'm excited to hear your experience there at the Pentagon, and going to be interesting to see. I know that, so they kicked everyone out in terms of, hey, if you're a reporter,
Well, they didn't kick them out. They didn't kick anybody out. What they offered was a different set of rules.
Okay.
And then I'll be honest, I don't like the rules. The rules basically are almost you have to ask permission to cover a story. I think that's wrong. I don't think I should have to go ask the people at the Pentagon what story I'm allowed to cover, but it created a few extra seats in the room.
I have some mixed feelings about it. I think when it comes to our national security, it is important to have some limitations on your access to information. But at the same time, if there's wrongdoing going on, then yeah, we should be able to investigate it. But we are going to go to a break here. We will be back shortly with the Steve Gruber Show. Welcome back to the Steve Gruber Show. Ivey Gruber here, and I'm just waiting for Steve to get to the Pentagon as he's going to be interviewing some very influential people there, including the Secretary of War. Can't wait to hear about his experience with that. But Steve, are you still with me?
I am. Me and the Uber driver decided neither one of us have been to the Pentagon before. We're not quite sure where to find the entrance, but if they pull their guns, I said, stop the car.
We're probably at the entrance.
He agreed.
Now. So you also actually are getting a press pass to Langley, correct?
That's correct. So I'll have FBI headquarters. Well, I've had the hard pass for the White House for a long time now, and then Pentagon, and then Capitol Hill and Langley, which, it's interesting. You spend your life watching action movies, whatever they might be, right? Yeah. Or The Blacklist comes to mind, where you've seen these places. Of course, you and I have been in the Oval Office and done, things like that. Mm-hmm. And it's always fascinating to go there because it's the most famous room in the world. But the FBI headquarters or the Pentagon, they're also top 10 locations of places to be and say, hey, I've got access here because the Secret Service has inspected you and I up and down so many times. I've lost count, obviously. And so it's about the access. I don't know if we talked to Hegseth today. Of course, he's in some hot water, well, according to his critics, because there's a claim that we turned around and hit one of those drug boats not once but twice, which would be a violation of international law, the way I read it. So we'll see where that goes.
So what is
I don't know the specifics, and of course,
what is the difference between hitting it once and hitting it twice? I mean, if it didn't
when you hit it the second time, it's an immobilized. Well, I'll explain it to you. If you hit the vehicle, there were 2 survivors on one of the boats, allegedly, and I don't know the details. They're coming out, and obviously in this town, I trust basically nobody. But allegedly, there were 2 survivors on the boat, and you turn around and hit it again. Well, they're basically out of the fight. You can't go hit people that are out of the fight.
I see.
You can't just shoot prisoners of war. You can't, certain things that you just can't do. Now, again, I don't know what the details are. One side gins it up, and this goes both ways, of course. One side gins it up. The other side says it's no big deal. And the truth is usually nowhere to be found. And so we'll just try to figure that out and see what's happening. Meanwhile, as you probably heard, Donald Trump had one long conversation with Maduro, offered him a chance to leave with his wife and kid, and it sounded like they were close to having that happen. And then Maduro said, well, I want global immunity. And Trump says, I can't give you that.
Right.
And so the call ended, and then Maduro called back sometime later. The White House says, yeah, we're not taking the call.
Oh, wow.
So that's where we are on that.
Interesting.
We'll see what happens.
I want to play actually a soundbite for you. You know, going back to this Senator Mark Kelly and Senator Lisa Slotkin on their video that they put out probably, 2 weeks ago now, talking about do not, listen to illegal orders. And we all know that what they were actually meaning there is to cause some unrest, to cause, some dissension among the ranks. And I want you to hear, he's on NBC with Kristen Walker, and she asked him this question. Anthony, go ahead and play that.
Of this video and your message in it, what specific orders do you believe President Trump made that you consider unlawful?
Well, so this is looking forward, but let me give you a pass, an outline of things that he has said. In 2016, he said that the U.S. military will follow his illegal orders. He said something on a debate stage and was reminded that would be illegal. And he said the military will not refuse his orders, regardless of whether they're legal or not. He also talked about shooting protesters in the legs. How un-American, how unconstitutional is that? Fortunately, there was a Secretary of Defense that has stopped this. He's also talked about sending troops into U.S. cities to use those cities and people for training. I mean, we're concerned because of this president with this Secretary of Defense that we could have a significant problem. So this was a simple message, follow the law, and it was looking forward.
Well, and
yeah, simple message, follow the law. Well, he didn't actually give any examples there. Did you hear any examples? No,
the problem that he's created there, the problem he's created there. And look, he knows better. He understands the Universal Code of Military Justice. He understands USC 182397. You cannot undermine, and I'm just going to paraphrase, but you can't undermine the authority of the commander-in-chief or the chain of command. And if you do that and entice people to question or whatever, you created this chaos. And what's terrible about this is just within, a few days of that video being released, you get these 2 National Guard members shot, unarmed. That confused me. 2 unarmed members of the National Guard get shot. One is dead, died in her father's arms, a young woman from West Virginia. The other man from West Virginia, who's 24, has a lot more experience. She was pretty young. She was 20, and he's fighting for his life. So, I mean, there's nothing good that comes from that. But immediately following those, and I'm just going to call them, they're reckless remarks from Mark Kelly and Alyssa Slotkin from where I stand.
Well, it creates this,
because it's suggesting.
Yeah, it creates the environment, and we know this because they've been doing this since Trump was first elected, which is he's not honest, he's a fascist, you shouldn't be listening to anything that he's doing, he's bad for our country, he's ruining our country. You go on and on and on and on the examples that we can give of the folks on the left who are creating this alternate universe that isn't true. It's like, well, let's believe And you know what the weird thing is, Steve? Why is it that so many people will believe a lie so much faster than they believe the truth? You have to like give them a mountain of evidence to say, here's the truth. But if they hear a soundbite or they'll read a headline and that is gospel, to me, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, as you know, I use AI for one thing more than anything else. I'll see something pop up, and I just go to AI, says, is this true? I just fact check it immediately. And 9 times out of 10, no, that's false. It's not right. That was never said. And I get as much from that, from the right as I do the left. They're all guilty.
Yeah. Well, you have to leave it right there for now, Steve. We will be right back after this break.